Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. Today we're going to talk about the top teams in the Open Great League. Great League is returning, and last time we made a video, it was just, new season type of things, just the teams that everyone is expected to use just to have fun and get out of the early ranks. But in today's video, we're going to talk about like more solid teams, especially after the last tournament which happened yesterday and Elim actually won. So what is the current Great League meta? How does it look like? Jellicent is still a top tier Pokemon. Altaria is there. And because those two are the best two Pokemons, the best Pokemon ended up being actually Wigglytuff. It's actually not this rank. Yeah, Wigglytuff was the most dominant Pokemon in the past tournaments. And that tells because Jellicent lose to Wiggly. Altaria lose to Wiggly. Ferret lose to Wiggly. Azu is fine into Wiggly. Wiggly lose to Wiggly. Corviknight into Wiggly is not a bad matchup as long as they don't just get a million boost. Licky lose to Wiggly. Fortress, nah, Fortress beat Wiggly. But yeah, Wiggly is just the safest Pokemon into like the majority of the top 10. And that explains why it was so safe in the past tournament. Now, anything else that is worth mentioning? Yes, it's actually Fortress. Fortress is known as the best counter to Wiggly right now, because you don't want to end up like using Empoleon and then getting destroyed by like Empoleon's counters. Like Fortress is slightly safer than Empoleon, and that's why Fortress with Wiggly was a deadly combo for Elim in the past tournament. So how does the new meta look like? Well, let's just talk about Elim's team. So his team was basically Shadow Quag, which is the best Mud Boy, Wiggly, which is the best Pokemon, Fortress, which is the best Wiggly answer, a Quagsire, which is an answer to Wiggly and Fortress. Dude, Elim is a genius. Like, if you like, take a look at this team. Like, this thing is the only one that can beat both of those two. And then there is Altaria, which destroys the Mud Boys and everything that, counters those two. As an example, like something like Fire types, Fire types is difficult. So he just wanted to have something safe into that. So that's why he has Shadow Altaria. Shadow Altaria is a must if you want to use Altaria. It's much better than the non-Shadow because the non-Shadow almost does no damage. With the Shadow, you can do slightly more damage. And then there is Corsola. What is the reason of Corsola? I think he wanted to have a neutral Pokemon, like in case they have a poison, in case they have this thing, in case they have this thing, he can just, soft lose the lead. And he actually played this thing insanely well. Like, he always had it where he wanted to have this Pokemon. So what is the best team according to Yasser's teams? I think, like, if you go to PvPoke, and since Jellicent is number one, try to build a team around Jellicent. PvPoke will recommend Jellicent, Wiggly, and Ferret because it's just so safe. Wiggly is just so good, and this is just number one Pokemon. Now, is there any glaring weaknesses to this team? Yeah, it's the opposing Wiggly. The opposing Wiggly destroys this team, technically. Can we run Bubble? Nah, please don't. Yeah, Bubble is just a bad fast move right now. It's good on Azu because Azu is just so freaking good. Now, what if you don't like Jellicent? Well, you can just run Talonflame. To be honest, Talonflame is still a solid Pokemon. If you have Shadow, it's even better. With Jellicent and Cradily, this is like more of like a last season team, but it's still as viable as it was in the last season. Do we have any other Jellicent team? Shady Agent told me that this team was cooking for him, which is Empoleon, Altaria, and Jellicent. I tried this team last season, and then after trying it for a couple of battles, I ended up switching Jellicent to Ferret because it's just a slightly safer. But I think Jelly is just better this season because of the buff to the Shadow Ball, right? And then later on, I switched Empoleon into Ferret. And this is the team I ended up using last season. This was my last season's team. Sometimes I switch up Ferret for Cradily, but overall, this was actually the team, and I think I'm going to keep using it for this season. Now, what was the team that I struggled to beat with this team? It's actually this one, and it's also a very, very solid team. I just had no play into Stunfisk lead because Stunfisk beat this, and if I switch into Ferret, they outpace me because I will be one turn behind. And that what ended up being my nightmare. So this is also a good team comp, especially into this and this and this. And this, it beats up all of these teams. This team, Stunfisk Double Steel. What is this team weak to? It's so weak into Mudshot Stunfisk, okay? But I think Thundershock is slightly better in the current season. But yeah, Mudshot Stunfisk into this team is just insanely strong. Now, is there any team, any Pokemon that beats this? Caesar and Empoleon? Yes, there is one for Pokemon, and that is Gorges. Gorges has been probably the most popular Pokemon in the high MMR gaming, and that's because of like the insane coverage and the great fast move pressure that this Pokemon like output. Yes, instant rate is just clunky slightly, but it's still a great Pokemon, and if you get yourself like a one Gorges that has like a great stat product, you're gonna end up in a much better situation than using any other grass, because this grass beats all the opposing grass. Also, it beats whatever is weak to fire. It still beat water as a fire type user because it uses Incinerate, right? And especially into this Pokemon, because this Pokemon is just like very popular, and that's why Gorges started becoming popular, because people were just using Ferret. Sorry, not Ferret. Ferret destroys this thing. Well, it doesn't destroy, because Ferret doesn't hit this thing with any charge move. It's just the Sucker Punch. That's it. You just resist all of the charge moves that Ferret has. I'm talking about Fortress, because Fortress gets cooked by the Incinerate users. Now, I know some people here aren't the greatest players in the game, but they also like to play GBL, and they like to have a fun team and also a tanky team, because the most broken stat in this game is actually the bulk. So if you have a bulky team, you're more likely to have a better chances of winning. So I think the best bulky team in the current season is actually this one. Now, this could be switched into multiple Pokemons. This could be Ferret, this could be Jellicent, but I think if you have it as is, it's Wiggly, Cursula, and Galarian Stunfisk. Now, I'm inspired by, this team is inspired by the Elim's team. He had Fortress here, because Fortress is just slightly better in the current meta, but I think Stunfisk can beat, this also can destroy Fortress. So if you want my advice, I think this team is very solid if you are looking for a bulky team that can do damage and give you some chances at the lower bracket. I'm talking about the ace type of Elo. Now, some teams here were recommended also by Elim. He said that Annihilape should have a play, especially with the low kick buff. Low kick now is Vine Whip clone. You just spam Rage Fist, and once you have a Rage Fist, you can just close combat everything. Drapion isn't bad, it still has some play, and Licky is actually a decent Pokemon. More Empoleon teams, Empoleon Double Fairy. Now, I just want to talk about this is because most of the Fairy type Pokemons are being used for their typing. You actually don't care about their damage, the Fairy damage, to be more specific. So, as an example, Togekiss, most of the Togekiss damage comes from Peck and Aura Sphere. Literally nothing that has to do with Fairy. It just has an amazing typing, which is Fairy and Flying. A team I used last season, and I think can be translated into another team this season, which is Talonflame, Credilli, and Dusknoir. You can just put a Corsola or a Jellicent here, and you should have yourself a very solid team. Now, back to Altaria Mudboys meta. This used to be some of the most dominant codes back in season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Altaria Swampert was a very dominant code. Now, if you want to translate this team into the current season, you have to use Shadow Altaria and Shadow Quag. Why didn't I put Shadow here? It's just so those people who skip the videos and don't watch it, they can just use the wrong Pokemons. We don't care about them, right? They don't watch the video, they don't like the videos, so we don't care about them. We don't care to correct them, It also could be run. You could also do Triple Shadow here. I think it's a fun one. Yeah, I think it's a very fun team. More of Altaria teams, you could just put a Dugong here, honestly. If you are a Dugong fan, if you have a Triple Legacy Dugong and you would like to use it, I think this is a very solid team still. Now, back into more Caesar's teams. Caesar, Azu, and Ferret is a team I tried, I think, 2 seasons ago. I think it still has a great play. I just prefer Altaria here, to be honest. Also, you could try, instead of Altaria, Regidrigo. Regidrigo got nerfed to his dragon move, but I think he's still worth it. He's still a good Pokemon, so using him is not a bad idea. So I think if you want to use more Caesar teams, this could be another solid Caesar team. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you like the content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you see a hype button, can you just click on it so the video reaches out to more audience, which motivate me into making more content. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next video. Peace.